This is Maria from Crochet A to Z, and welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please push that subscribe button. And if you have, I want to thank you. I want to thank everyone for being here today. Happy Saturday. I hope everyone's doing well. It's a perfect day to crochet. Actually, every day is a perfect day to crochet. So today, this is a great weekend project, one-day project, definitely. You can make a few of these in one day. You can sell them. You can give them away as gifts, and they're great if you want to sell them at a bazaar. And these are ear warmers slash headband. They're really great. I love it as an ear warmer. They're really nice, and they are warm. I used 4-weight yarn on this. You can go one up if you want to and use a 5-weight yarn. Either way, I love it. They're really, really pretty. So this is the two of them that I made. And like I said, you can make them in a day. You can make quite a few in one day. I'm going to show you just how easy this is to make. Now we're using the grit stitch with this, but I'm doing it using the grit stitch, but I'm adding a little bit of a different variety to it. So I'm going to show you, I'm doing a different variation when I do the grit stitch. I love the grit stitch. And then for this, I'm doing something else. I also want to mention, if you want to line these, you can also line them if you're going to use them as a ear warmer, although they are warm even without the liner. So I just want to let you know. And I do have a tutorial on how to, one of the ear warmers that I did, and how to line it. So it would be the same way you would line the other ones that I made. You would do it the same way, and I can attach that to an updated version for you to see. So let's get started. And again, I'm going to use 4-weight yarn for this tutorial. You can again use 4-weight, you can use 5-weight yarn. It's up to you. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a slip knot, and I'm using an eye hook, and we're going to chain 15. Now I want to mention, if you want to make these wider, you can. That's up to you, but I'm going to chain 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. You can tell I peeled an orange today. You can tell my fingers, even though I washed them, you can see the orange from peeling. So excuse me for that. This is your working chain. These are your chains. They look like V's, and at the very end is a slip knot, not considered a chain. This is for beginners to advanced, everyone in between. Beginners, if you want to make something cute, I suggest this would be great. So what we're going to do now that we've chained our 15, in the 1, 2, second chain from the hook, we're going to make a slip stitch. In the next chain, we're going to make a half double crochet. Now I want to mention that every time you start a row, it's a slip stitch. When you end a row, it's a half double crochet. So we did a half double crochet, and now we're going to do another slip stitch. And then we're going to do a half double crochet. And then after we do our half double crochet, we're going to do a slip stitch. A half double crochet in the next stitch. A slip stitch in the next. A half double crochet in the next, a slip stitch in the next, half double crochet in the next, slip stitch in the next, half double crochet in the next, slip stitch in the next, and as I said, at the end you're going to do a half double crochet in this very last stitch. And this is what it looks like. So now we're going to chain one and we're going to turn our work. Now this is where we do something a little different. And I'm going to show you, I just want to pull this out. Here are your stitches. And if you put it like that, you can see your V's. So what we're going to do is in that first stitch, and like I said, the first stitch, you always start with a slip stitch, but we're going to do it just in the back loop. So here's your two loops, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. We're going to go in this back loop and we're going to do a slip stitch. So let me show you again right here, a slip stitch. So you are going to go into this first stitch and see right here, and after you do the first row it'll get easier. The first and second row it'll get easier. So now in the next stitch you're going to do a half double crochet and grab the back loop only. Then in the next stitch you're going to do a slip stitch, a half double crochet in the next stitch, and like I said, it's the back loop only. And see how much easier it's getting as you go along. Slip stitch, a half double crochet, a slip stitch in the back loop only, half double crochet, slip stitch, half double crochet, slip stitch, half double crochet, slip stitch, and in the very last stitch a half double crochet. And like I said, you're going to know you're going to end with a half double crochet and begin, and I want to show you, you have a slip stitch here, so that last stitch is going to be a half double crochet. So I'm going to go slow so you can follow along, you can write it down and you can follow along with me. Now what we're going to do is we're going to chain one, and I want you to see what it looks like. It's forming a little ridge here. So that's what it looks like. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain one, like I said, and we turn our work. Again, we're going to go in this first stitch in the back loop only, and we're going to make a slip stitch. In this next stitch, a half double crochet. In the next stitch, a slip stitch. And we're going to continue this pattern right across. And this is your grit stitch. But we're working it in the back loop only. And what it does is it gives you this little pretty little ridge. It's a really pretty pattern. If you lose track of where you are, it will be easy to bounce back with this stitch. And what I mean by that is that If you get to the end, and I'm going to show you what I mean, and you know you have 2 stitches left, you know you just made a half double crochet, so you know that stitch has to be a slip stitch, because your last stitch has to be a half double crochet in that last stitch. And what happens is and I want to show you again, you made a slip stitch in the next to the last stitch, so you know that in this last stitch here you have to make a half double crochet. And then again, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work around, and you're going to continue this back and forth until you get to the desired length you want. Now, I'm doing a medium adult, so it's going to be 20 inches long. If you do a large adult, it'll be 21 inches long. If you do an adult small, it'll be 19 inches long. A child teen, 17 inches long. A toddler 1 to 3 years, 16 inches. A baby 6 to 12 months, 15 inches. 3 to 6 months, 13 inches, and 0 to 3 months would be 12 inches. And that would be the size, the length, so that you could make this. So once we're done, and we go back and forth and continue that, this is what you're going to end up with. And I have one here that's all finished. And this is what we're going to do next. So again, like I said, I did 20 inches because I'm making an adult medium size. Once you get your 20 inches, you're going to fold this in half. So again, you're going to fold it in half. You're going to pick up these 2 sides, and the right side is going to go over this side, and then this is going to go in the middle, and then this side, and we're going to pull this up. You want to make a long, when you fasten off, you want to make a long fasten off, so you want to have a lot of yarn there because you're going to sew with it. So this is going to go this way. So now we're going to get, and we're going to get our needle, and I'm just going to thread the needle. And you don't have to knot this end. So what I do is I get my needle, and you want to make sure these are like even. And I get my needle and I go through this other end. And then what I do is I go back and forth from this side, and I want to go from this side again all the way through. You want to make sure that you're picking up everything, and you go all the way through to this side. And that's why you want to fasten off with a long, bit of yarn, because you want to do this, you want to do it once, and then you want to do it a second time. And you may want to even do it a third time. It's up to you, but you're going to go back and forth, and we want to pick everything up. And then I'm going to fasten this with my fingers. I'm going to like tighten it up, and I'm going to go back in here and back through there, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at it, because you want to make your adjustments. And then I'm going to make sure that I pick up this end, and I'm going to go right through. And then now I'm going to go back the other way. And like I said, this is for beginners to advanced, everyone in between. And I'm going to go back, and if you're going to notice, see how nice and tight that is? See how it's not, even if you get, it's not falling apart. It's not coming loose. And we're just going to go back and forth, and we're going to just do right across again. And now I'm reaching this other end right here. So I want to do what I did on this side. See how tightly that is? I want to make sure that that does that here, that I'm picking all this up. So again, I'm going in. And we want to make sure we get the end, the corner. And see how nice and tight that is? But I see that I see this, and I want to just grab that too. And I'm going to go in one more time at this end. And there it is. And now I'm going back in and I'm doing this, but the reason that I'm going back is what I'm going to do is I'm going to fasten this off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to find a little spot in here, pick up some of the yarn, and I'm just going to kind of knot that. Put my needle through and I'm going to almost push it in with my nail. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it one more time in another spot, because I want to make sure that I get that really nice and tight. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right in here and put this needle through along the edge, like this. And then I'm going to fasten off, and I'm going to cut this. I'm going to get my trusty scissors here. So that's where you just sewed. You're going to take this and turn it right side, like so. And here is your beautiful, really beautiful. I love this. I think it's so pretty. It just looks so nice. And here is your ear warmer / headband. This is what it looks like. Isn't it pretty? And I wanted to make it in a couple of different colors so you could see that no matter what you do, what yarn you use. And like I said, if you want to use a 5-weight yarn, if you want to go up one more weight, you can. But isn't that pretty? And you can see where it's not going to come apart because of how well that was sewn. And it's really soft. And that would be at the top of your head. And it would keep your ears warm, but you could also use it as a headband. So this is Maria from Crochet A to Z. I hope you liked this tutorial of the twisted, and it is a twisted headband / ear warmers. Thank you. Have a great day. Have a great evening. Stay safe, stay warm, and be careful if you are getting snow. Thanks. Love you all. Bye-bye.